Hey guys, so I am doing an updated version of my parts for the parts work that the video I made before. You know, parts work it's not a dissociative identity disorder system. It's not like that at all. It's just different facets of my own personality, emotions, basically my inside out crew. So it's not like you get just one card at a time, like you know like like this. It's more like this. Okay, so like these are all my parts, they're all present all the time. It's not, oh, one guy is fronting and now, oh, one other part is fronting, and no, it's not like that. It's just several facets of who I am all together. And it's just every so often one might be a bit more prominent than the others, but they're all still here. So maybe the aces will be in the front, and I mean, that's just how it is. But here are my parts. There are 10 of them. Seasonal anxiety, Cindy. Transparent deer in the woods. Usually feels caught in the headlights of oncoming vehicles. This poor thing pees cortisol everywhere all the time. She knows there is danger in all directions, from tigers, hunters with guns, vehicles, and unseen holes in the dark. She's afraid to move because it might mean she gets hurt or causes someone else to get hurt. She doesn't feel heard when she cries out in warning, and she gets hit by cars a lot. But still, she tries to warn when she sees the light beams from Watchtower Cindy. She is terrified of the other parts, but Curious Cindy is taking notice of her existence. Angry Fighter Cindy is the only part that listens to Seasonal Anxiety Cindy with disastrous effects. She is terrorized by Trauma Cindy during Traumaversaries. Her territory is the amygdala, but she often hijacks the limbic system when she gets upset. Watchtower Cindy is a lighthouse on a cliffside overlooking the sea. She is the hypervigilance, always scanning every horizon for danger and distress. If anything on the horizon changes, she activates whatever parts need to wake up to act. She never turns off. The light will be bright or dim, but it is always on, sweeping, waiting. Her beam gets distorted by black hole depression Cindy, which pisses off angry fighter Cindy and scares seasonal anxiety Cindy with constant false alarms. Her territory is the occipital lobe, though the beam sweeps through the whole brain. Angry fighter Cindy is represented by Monsterverse Godzilla. Big, angry, can topple a city and destroy everything in her path. She sees the danger and fear and responds by trying to fight, to restore balance, because that's what Monsterverse Godzilla's role is in the Monsterverse movies. She doesn't tolerate what she thinks is injustice and is very loud about speaking up when anxiety isn't stuck in the way. Curious Cindy tries to reason with her, and Godzilla just steps on her and tramples over imaginative writer Cindy during her fights with Black Hole Depression Cindy and Trauma Cindy. Now, her territory is, please get the joke, she sleeps in the cerebellum, roams the limbic system, likely to hijack the amygdala and frontal lobes when rampaging. Curious Cindy is the 13th Doctor from Doctor Who. She is the one who asks questions, wants to know all the reasons for everything, and runs around through time and space looking for answers. She is hungry to understand what all this means and how all these parts connect. She tries unsuccessfully to reason with angry fighter Cindy and is trying to talk to seasonal anxiety Cindy. She is afraid of trauma Cindy, but she wants to understand her. Her territory is the cerebral cortex because she prefers higher thought areas. Imaginative writer Cindy is a tiny mouse in a tiny office typing on the tiniest keyboard you'll ever see. She wrote all these profiles and she does the work of translating concepts into words. Sometimes she squeaks out ideas and sometimes the other parts listen. She writes all kinds of fan fiction, though not all of it gets typed, and she gets absorbed in fictional stories. Curious Cindy and bubbly butterfly Cindy are her buddies. They feed her creativity. Battles between angry fighter Cindy and black hole depression Cindy demolish her office frequently, which she hates. She activates Watchtower Cindy and seasonal anxiety Cindy with her squeaks when things go awry. All she wants is for the noisy parts to shut up and leave her alone to type in peace. Her territory is the Precuneus region, with messages sent to Wernicke's area and Broca's area. Critic Cindy is Rita Repulsa from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and she barks in her screechy voice at everything the other parts do. She never has anything nice to say and makes everybody else feel like crap. She's almost as hated as Black Hole Depression Cindy. Angry fighter Cindy stomps her fortress all the time, and she just rebuilds it and carries on being nasty. Her territory is the cerebral cortex, where she sometimes punches down into the limbic system or hippocampus. Bubbly butterfly Cindy is a sparkly, iridescent butterfly surrounded by bubbles. Her sparkling wings and bubbles act as a shroud to cover up the other parts. She flits around, light-hearted, making jokes when things get bad, and tries to be social, though it often falls flat. People often find her irritating. She just wants to be liked and to make people feel better. Trauma Cindy and Black Hole Depression Cindy terrify her, and she unsuccessfully tries to keep them hidden from everybody else. Her territory is the limbic system and the frontal lobes. Black Hole Depression Cindy is a black hole that bends time, space, and matter around her. She absorbs everything. She is in excruciating pain. She feels unloved, unheard, ignored, and dismissed. Oftentimes, she doesn't care what happens to her or those around her. She's afraid anyone who comes too close will be sucked in or flung away. She unbalances and distorts everything by sucking up too much serotonin and spitting out norepinephrine as radioactive jets. She thinks she destroys everything she touches. Nobody likes her. Everybody is afraid of her except angry fighter Cindy, who often steps in and starts fights to keep the balance. I don't know what purpose she serves. Her territory is the basal ganglia, with her gravity affecting the orbital frontal cortex the most. Trauma Cindy is Godzilla from Godzilla Minus One. She's sometimes hidden in the glare of Black Hole Depression Cindy's accretion disk. They're in a symbiotic relationship. Everybody except Angry Fighter Cindy runs for cover when she emerges, and Black Hole Depression Cindy tends to follow the paths of her rampages because, hey, it's free food. She's in pain, she's enraged, she hates everything, and she wants whatever woke her up to be obliterated. When she wakes up and rampages, she destroys everything in her path. She terrorizes seasonal anxiety Cindy with roars and stomps during traumaversaries to never let her forget. Her atomic beam throws the entire brain into chaos. Angry Fighter Cindy tangles with her sometimes, but it's always a draw. Her territory is the orbital frontal cortex until she rampages. Then the entire brain is caught up in her wrath. Insight Cindy is Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. This quiet part is an observer that prefers to sit off to the side from the others and contemplate. He is responsible for the other parts being discovered. He directs the core to curious Cindy when questions arise, and he wants the core to believe in herself more. His sphere of influence seems to grow during training, and he trains whenever the core is in a therapy session or practicing what she learned from her therapist. Piccolo's territory is the hippocampus, but his training takes him to the limbic system, precuneus region, and cerebral cortex.